And so the Lichtgruber began to lead the odd pair through the marsh. As they traversed the murky waters, the small creature wondered if it had chosen wisely, not so much worrying about itself, but for its fragile friend. Still, it didn't feel discouraged, but glad, relieved that their strenuous search might soon bear fruit. As the small creature looked around, it could see nothing but tall, dark trees encroaching on the clearing.
Where are we? Is there someone here that might be able to help her?
The Lichtgruber raised his lantern. This place, it wasn't always like this, you know. Over the years, it has been the destination of many ailing beings in need of help. Not anymore. It's been corrupted. We shouldn't have come. The Lichtgruber turned his attention towards the trees. Some of them are still here. The creature felt a nervous tug on its ear as it responded.
If you hadn't helped us, we would never have gotten out of the marsh. I don't think we have any choice but to move forward.
The creature looked at its friend before continuing.
If this place used to be as powerful as you said, there has to be someone still here that can help. I will make sure that no harm comes to her.
The creature tried its hardest to sound sure of itself, and its words seemed to calm the Alva down, if only a little. Very well. If there is something that would be of help to you in this place, I hope you find it. Good luck to you both, kind friends. I bid you farewell. The Lichtgruber bowed before slowly fading away as he drifted back towards the marsh.
Don't be sad. Remember how far we've come. We'll find someone that can help you. Just you wait,
the creature said, giving the Alva a gentle pat on her head.
You will finally get your wings.
A strangely familiar totem, decorated with a deer skull, had been placed at the edge of the woods, spreading a pungent stench throughout the clearing.
What an awful smell! What could be the purpose of such a thing?
The small creature said, while looking at the Alva, who desperately tried to cover her nose. As the creature touched the pungent-smelling horn, it crumbled, turning to dust in its hands. Growing along the edge of the clearing were an odd strain of plants, emitting a soothing glow from their bright buds.
This light, how do you think something like this comes to be?
The creature asked the Alva, who was leaning forward in an attempt to inspect the peculiar plant. As the creature poked the stem of the plant, the bud started to pulsate, as if aggravated by the faint touch. The dark woods, far too dense to travel through, were slowly encroaching on the clearing.
Not even someone as small as you would fit through that thick web of branches,
the small creature said to the alva as it peeked into the dark entanglement. Partially hidden within the undergrowth, there was an old, scarcely decorated gravestone.
It doesn't look like anyone's been here in a very long time. Do you think they got lost on their way here?
The creature turned to its friend, who was tilting her head to have a closer look. A mysterious plant had come into bloom and was now spreading its spores throughout the forest. A shadowy figure had begun to follow the pair as they traversed the narrow trail, yet for the moment keeping its distance from the small creature.
Why is it following us?
The creature whispered, while the alva kept her eyes peeled on the dark shape remaining at their backs. When the creature brought its hand closer to the plant, it suddenly released glowing spores into the air. As they landed on the creature's hand, a strange numbness came over the affected skin. Partially hidden within the undergrowth, there was an old, scarcely decorated gravestone. The creature began to brush away the dirt from the gravestone, but it didn't appear as if there had been a name inscribed on it.
It doesn't look like anyone's been here in a very long time. Do you think they got lost on their way here?
The creature turned to its friend, who was tilting her head to have a closer look.
This place has an unsettling feeling to it.
The small creature whispered as they walked through the abandoned encampment.
Why did they leave all of their belongings behind?
A ragged piece of cloth held up by a pair of sticks formed what appeared to be a tent.
Looks cozy enough,
the creature said as it inspected the tiny sleeping area. Inside the tent, the creature found a thin, slightly bent metal blade. Beside one of the tents stood a poultry meat rack, created from 2 carved poles connected by a long string.
They must have really been in a hurry to leave their food behind,
the small creature said to its friend as it gave the meat a poke with its finger. The small creature picked up the smelly haunch of meat. The fire had long since burned out.
We could sure use a warm fire right now,
the creature said, looking at the shivering Alva. As the creature rustled around in the ashes beneath the coals, it found a sooty horseshoe forged from steel. One of the tents had at some point collapsed and was laying in the wet grass at the edge of the campsite.
How sad. This was someone's home once,
the creature said as it looked down at the wet mass laying on the ground. The creature picked up the cloth canvas, along with the partially corroded iron post. An ancient tree was standing by itself at the far edge of the encampment. Throughout the land you might sometimes hear rumors of injured woodsmen sheltering themselves beneath an unusually large tree with strange characteristics. As they rest amongst its roots, they claim that the wounds fade away as if they had never been caused. Learning that one may be cured from any ailment by crawling through the tree's roots, many travel from afar to seek relief, but the woodsmen who claim to have found it never seem to recall its exact location within the woods. While moving its hand across the aged bark, the creature felt an odd sense of relaxation. The creature suddenly realized it had yet to introduce itself. The creature suddenly realized it had yet to introduce itself.
Would you mind talking to us for a short while?
The ancient tree barely seemed coherent, the lucidity in his eyes fading between each word.
So tired, must not fall asleep. Help!
What should we do? He seems really scared.
The small creature looked at the Alva.
We need to help wake him up.
As the creature blew the smelling salt onto the ancient tree, he quickly recovered from his drowsiness.
Thank you,
he exclaimed in a drawn-out fashion, both eyes wide open.
Thank you both. I almost fell asleep, you know, just like my brothers. You mustn't.
The ancient tree's voice turned mellow as he looked out across the campsite.
None of them wanted to talk to me, so I simply remained silent. Suddenly, it almost took me, the glow. Almost, but you made sure it didn't. That would have been bad, very bad indeed.
The ancient tree sighed.
I wish I could repay you, but unless you're in need of herbal knowledge, I'm afraid I can't offer you much in return. If you should happen to find any herbs you would like me to process, I'd be happy to help,
he said before munching enthusiastically.
Although I would need to rinse this horrible taste from my mouth before I could create a proper mixture. If you're in need of my help, could I first trouble you to find me something scrumptious that will restore my taste buds? Delicious,
the ancient tree exclaimed as he bit into the ripe blackberries.
It's been a long time since I tasted something like this. Good things don't like to grow here anymore, you see. Some beings infect everything they touch,
he muttered.
But no matter, when you need my assistance, come see me again. I should be able to create a proper mixture for you, provided you can find good ingredients in this place.
What do you suppose that thing is over there? Do you see it?
The creature asked the alva, who was leaning forward in an attempt to spot the small object. A totem, crudely decorated with bone carvings and various symbols, had been struck into the ground, steadied by a pile of rubble.
Another one of those strange things. I wonder why they were put here.
The creature pondered, while the alva seemed to appreciate the odd craftsmanship. As they approached it, the alva's eyes fixed on a particular part of the totem.
Do you like this one?
The creature asked, removing the blunt piece of flint from the totem.
Wow!
The creature quickly took a step back, surprised by the mangy arm that had suddenly appeared from below the cliff. A Draug was once a man who, after passing from this world, turned into a being consumed by its hunger for all that it once had. Approaching its perceived property carries with it great risks, as stories tell of Drauga whose grotesque appearance leaves the victim's mind in disarray, causing them to wander the woods aimlessly as they slowly transform into Drauga themselves.
Hello? Are you down there? Could you perhaps let us look at the flower on the ground? It might be something very helpful to us.
The creature tried, but the arm remained. An iron chain had been fastened to a pole at the edge of the woods, dwindling down into the darkness below the cliff's edge.
The post must be buried very deep in the ground to be able to hold something like that.
The creature thought to itself as it glanced down the cliff. As the Draug fled into the woods below, the creature was able to move a bit closer to the cliff's edge. In its escape, a ring had fallen from the Draug's finger, now glimmering in the darkness. The creature held it in its palm while they observed it. It almost appeared as if it had somehow been affected by the power of the sky's lightning, the gem decorating it clearly reflecting the stars' light, almost amplifying their glow. With the recent departure of the Draug, the white plant was lying exposed on the ground.
Isn't this one the prettiest we've seen so far?
The creature asked the Alva, who responded with a slow nod as her eyes lingered on the plant. The creature marveled at the beautiful plant as it slowly extended its tiny hand to pick it up. The creature didn't have any trouble pulling the thin blade from the moist soil. Glosen, vile and repugnant, is a large sow that dwells in the depths of the forest, her battened body covered in razor-sharp thorns. She may appear either as an omen in places about to be visited by great misfortune, or to prey on travelers walking along the forest's edge. As she runs towards her victim, the thorns on her back are said to grow larger, cutting the unlucky traveler in half as she sprints in between their legs. After she has satisfied her gluttonous urges, she returns to guard her home in the darkest part of the woods.
Hello? We don't mean you any harm. Can you help us?
Glosen's red eye followed the creature's movements, her mouth watering in response to the feast presenting itself before her.
Never mind. We will get by somehow.
The creature stuttered as it quickly backed away from the huge beast. Despite the weather, the large anthill was bustling with activity.
You work hard, don't you?
The small creature said, as the pair watched the ants carry all manner of things into their home. The ants didn't seem to mind the creature picking up a handful of the leftover straws. A statue depicting an ominous creature was standing near the tree line.
statues must mean something.
the creature said to the alva, who was peeking out from behind its ear to have a look. An unfinished totem had been placed at the center of 3 large stones, decorated by various rune carvings.
It looks like it's missing something, doesn't it?
The creature said, as the pair beheld the strange creation.
It looks like it's missing something, doesn't it?
The creature said, as the pair beheld the strange creation. With a quick snip of the scissors, the large plant fell down in the creature's hand. As it looked down at the plant, the once strong glow emanating from it was beginning to fade away.
How about these?
The creature asked as it presented the herbs to the tree.
Perfect. These would mix well. One moment, my friends.
The ancient tree cleared his throat before continuing to chew both plants into a thick salve. After chewing for a good while, he continued.
There you are. I hope this will aid you in some way. Be careful with it though. This turned out to be a very potent mixture.
Here you are. It looks very tasty, doesn't it?
The creature presented the haunch of meat before Gloson's frightening jaws. The gluttonous sow quickly sunk her teeth into the smelly flesh, instantly devouring sinew and bone alike. Not satisfied by the meal, she once more turned her attention towards the small creature fidgeting before her.
Good, wasn't it?
The small creature tried as her jaws opened. Then her expression changed, the hungry mouth turning into a wide yawn as she proceeded to rest her head against the moss-covered stone. As she fell into a deep slumber, the thorns emanating from her body retracted from the clearing. The creature smiled, its hands still trembling.
We're getting close. I can feel it.
As the pair arrived at the deepest part of the forest, an unnerving silence instilled itself in the clearing. Unbeknownst to them, they had arrived at the Copper Gate, a lost doorway to the oldest of mountains, rumored to contain treasures long since hidden from the eyes of men. As they stood there, the faint wind carried with it soft-spoken whispers in a strange tongue throughout the woods, spreading a sense of unease to plant and animal alike.
I'm sure what we need is somewhere round here. This place used to be filled with great power, remember?
The creature said in an attempt to cheer her up. The Alva smiled half-heartedly for a moment before returning to rest behind the creature's ear. A couple of branches had fallen down from one of the spruce trees surrounding the clearing.
What are you doing on the ground? You should be up there.
The small creature thought as it looked up into the thick web of branches. The creature reached down and picked up the two branches. A chisel had been left firmly stuck in the soil.
What's this sticking up from the ground? Do you think we can pull it out?
The creature asked the Alva, who didn't appear to share the creature's sudden curiosity. The creature reached out with its dainty little hand and pulled out the chisel, almost falling over as it stumbled backwards to regain its balance from the effort. No, that's not how it happened. No. As the rain had stopped, the receding water had revealed an old urn at the bottom of the hole.
Hello there, little ones.
The creature exclaimed as it noticed two worms emerging through the soil. The creature lifted the wet urn out of the muddy soil. Striking the piece of flint against the horseshoe caused tiny sparks to scatter onto the tinder. As it began to smolder, the creature carefully placed it in the fireplace, igniting the branches. As the creature held the chisel amongst the coals, the heat caused it to glow red. retaining the intensity of the fire for a short moment before beginning to lose its warmth. As the creature held the heated chisel against the base of the chain, the iron slowly began to glow red, allowing it to break the link holding the chain in place. As the pair silently beheld the totem, a warm energy began to spread from the boulders surrounding it. The radiant light quickly engulfed the clearing, amplified by the Wittorm's magical skin.
I think we should be careful of looking at this thing for too long,
the creature mumbled, noticing that the Alva seemed almost entranced by the magical glow. As the totem had been completed, a warm glow had begun to emanate from the carvings on the stones around it, causing the Wittorm's skin to shine even brighter. A statue depicting an ominous creature was standing near the tree line.
These statues must mean something,
the creature said to the Alva, who was peeking out from behind its ear to have a look. The statue was cold to the touch, apart from the area surrounding a small carving on its base. A crudely put-together lever of wood and bone was standing near the mountain wall.
I wonder what will happen if I pull this,
the creature said to the Alva as they looked up at the large door in front of them. The creature pulled on the lever with all of its strength, but only the creaking noise of wood grating against wood could be heard. As the totem had been completed, a warm glow had begun to
I think we should...
The creature felt its body weaken as it moved closer to the totem. A strangely familiar totem, decorated with a deer skull, had been placed at the edge of the woods, spreading a pungent stench throughout the clearing.
What an awful smell! What could be the purpose of such a thing?
The small creature said, while looking at the Alva, who desperately tried to cover her nose. The creature didn't dare touch anything else on the totem, fearing it would fall apart altogether. The woods ended abruptly as parts of the ground had at some point plummeted into the darkness below.
I can't see what's below us, although I don't think I could get us down there safely anyway,
the creature said, while shaking its tiny head. The creature peeked across the edge of the cliff, but the starlight didn't quite make its way to the bottom. A totem, crudely decorated with bone carvings and various symbols, had been struck into the ground, steadied by a pile of rubble.
Another one of those strange things. I wonder why they were put here.
The creature pondered, while the Alva seemed to appreciate the odd craftsmanship. There was nothing left on the totem that the Alva looked to be interested in. The creature watched the tiny insects skitter across its hand before carefully brushing them off back onto the anthill. The shadowy figure appeared entranced by the glowing totem, not reacting to the pair's presence any longer.
Hello? Why were you following us?
The creature whispered, receiving no reaction.
What happened in these woods?
It tried, this time a bit louder, but still could not get the attention of the strange being. As the shadowy being didn't seem to mind, the creature and Alva decided to borrow the pages and stone fragment hanging from its waist, hoping to find some sort of clue regarding the strange place they currently found themselves in. However, as they had a closer look, neither of them were able to make out the word scribbled on the torn pages. After placing the stone fragment, the creature quickly backed away in response to a loud crackling noise emanating from the statue, lasting but a moment before leaving room for the silence to reinstill itself in the clearing.
We should get things moving,
The creature said to the Alva as she emptied the contents of the urn onto the lowest parts of the lever. As the odd pair had moved further into the darkness beyond the copper gate, before the small creature's eyes had adjusted to the shadows, the alva had suddenly been grabbed from its shoulder. A gigantic shape had picked up the helpless alva and placed her inside a glass sphere strung up from the ceiling. 3 beings slowly emerged from the darkness, who didn't seem at all interested in the small creature standing before them, and appeared to be squabbling with one another. "Look at it! Look at it!" the fat-nosed troll chanted, enthusiastically pointing at the alva with one of his chubby fingers. "It looks so yummy! Let me chew it a bit and I'll let you two know what it tastes like." The fat-nosed troll made a guttural sound, spouting and drooling saliva as he mustered all his strength in an effort to grab the alva. But the slim-nosed troll quickly gripped the glass sphere with his long, nimble fingers, keeping it out of the fat-nosed troll's reach. "The shiny one is doing fine right here in my ball. I found it. It's mine. Swallowing my shinies will be the last thing you do before I got you like a little fishy." "Quiet!" Burger Kangan bellowed, immediately bringing the argument to a halt. "I'm thinking," he then continued, letting out a troubled sigh. Irritated by being interrupted, the slim-nosed troll quickly retorted, "Thinking? That's all you do? We have been sitting here for so long, I don't even know why we came to this place. I say we leave and take the shinies with us." Burger Kangan slowly turned his head towards the slim-nosed troll, giving him a dreadful glare. The slim-nosed troll responded, with his nose pointing upward. "Do what you want then. Search some more. Go ahead. You'll never find it here, whatever it is you're looking for. I, however, have that which I desire right here," he carried on, as he gave the glass sphere a mischievous poke, making the alva tumble around inside. "You dummy! Of course you'd go and break it!" the fat-nosed troll exclaimed. "Don't raise your voice to me, you moronic glutton! I found it! I'll break it if I want to!" The slim-nosed troll grunted. "Enough!" Burger Kangan roared. "What's done is done. We all get 1 piece each of this trivial ball. End of discussion. There are more important things to attend to. I should have thought twice before bringing you two along on this expedition." The slim-nosed troll mumbled something inaudible in response, bringing the conflict to an end. Trolls are hideous beings, frequently described as doers of evil and wicked deeds. Terrified only by the sun's rays and the clap of thunder, they seldom leave the darkness of their caves, but once in a while emerging to roam the night in small packs, traveling between villages, snatching newborns out of their cribs before replacing them with their own offspring. Although socially organized, their minds are often blunt, some telling stories of quick-witted travelers narrowly escaping their grasp. The The small creature gathered its courage and approached the slim-nosed troll.
Hello?
It said with uncertainty in its voice. This time, noticing the creature, the troll quickly grasped his dagger.
What is this? A filthy little ball of hair straddling towards me. Coming for my shinies, you filthy burglar. Keep your distance, or you'll regret it.
The troll licked the blade's edge with a devious smirk on his face. The small creature stood, frozen in fear, not able to utter a single word in response. Realizing it posed little threat, the troll settled down and turned to his riches as he started to mumble to himself.
Filth, trying to steal my shinies. Too many to hide from prying eyes. Need something smaller, something pleasant to my eyes. Something shiny, yes.
Seeing the small creature approach from the corner of his eye, the slim-nosed troll quickly turned and snatched the pendant out of its hand.
Ah, I finally found it. I knew a special kind of shiny was around here somewhere.
The troll admired the pendant as he twisted and turned it in his hands before addressing the small creature reaching for it.
Now let's trade, shall we? I get one thing from you, you get one thing from me.
The troll took out his dagger, pressing it hard between his hand, causing it to bend into a crescent shape before handing it over to the creature. Without another word, the slim-nosed troll turned away, holding his new prized possession in front of his face, occasionally laughing with glee as he stared into the reflective surface of the pendant. A piece of supple leather was lying across a crack in the floor.
What could this be? Can't be anything dangerous, can it?
The small creature reasoned with itself, looking down at the strap next to its feet. No, that's not how it happened. Out of curiosity, the creature picked up the strap to have a look at it. Recognizing the fine condition of the leather, it decided to keep it. The small creature bent down and scooped up some of the spit into the cup of Sigrin. Suddenly, the mucus had turned green, and instead of water now flowed a putrid, endless stream of poison liquid. Rumored to be the ruler of all his kin, Bergerkungen is the oldest troll known to man. He was birthed long ago, deep beneath the cold earth in halls of ice, in a realm of eternal night. Stories of him have sprung up in generations far parted by time, leaving many convinced as to him possessing the gift of unending life. The few times he has been forced to appear above ground, his sightings have always been preceded by powerful omens, followed by strange mystical effects on the lands. Bergerkungen gave it a stern look as the quivering creature approached him. What a surprise! A strange little newborn has wandered into our mountain all by itself. Why have you come here, little creature? Burger Kungan asked, while curiously inspecting the tiny being standing before him.
To help my friend. We have been told this place can give her wings. They are missing, you see.
The creature said with determination, gathering all its bravery to not appear weak. Was that the shiny little thing that fell down into the hole over there? If that's the case, I'm afraid you will never see her again. Burger Kungan chuckled, but quickly returned to his stern voice. You said you had heard about this place. Tell me what you know. The creature dared not refuse Burger Kungan's request.
Well, that it once held some sort of ancient power.
The small creature explained in a slow, tentative manner. Burger Kungan sighed in boredom. Bah! I thought you might be useful, but I suppose it's up to me to figure out the secrets of this place after all. I can't trust these two cretins, and you are no better. Waddle home to where you came from. You will find nothing here, and even if you had, it wouldn't have helped your friend to, what was it? Grow wings? Such stupidity! Burger Kungan, irritated by the small creature's lack of knowledge, lost interest and returned to examining the cavern. The small creature held out the ancient writings in its hand, awaiting Burger Kungan's reaction. Have you found something of use to me, little creature? He mumbled as he began to rifle through the worn pages. Having been consumed by their contents for quite a while, he suddenly paused, cleared his throat, and read out loud. Ek, Vok, Hauga. As soon as the echo of his words rung out, two large stone plates had moved apart, revealing a large opening in the middle of the cavern. Ah, you have done well, little creature. This might be the place I seek after all. Go down there and tell me what you see. Burger Kungan commanded the small creature, who saw its chance to reunite with its friend. The slim-nosed troll had placed his part of the sphere among his other belongings on the floor.
Something special about that piece of glass.
The small creature thought to itself. The slim-nosed troll was keeping watch over his treasures, making it hard for the creature to have a closer look.
Hello? Are you okay down there? I'll figure out a way to help you out. Don't worry.
The small creature reassured the Alva as it started to explore the new-found cave. Venomous, wild mushrooms were spreading aggressively throughout the cave.
You there! Don't come any closer.
The small creature warned the mushrooms, taking a defensive stance. The small creature dared not to disturb the hazardous-looking mushrooms. A stone casket, crushed by the weight of the trolls, was barely peeking out beneath the rocks and rubble.
A keyhole means there must be a key nearby somewhere.
The creature reasoned with itself as it started to lift up surrounding rocks in search of it. The creature was unable to pry open the locked casket with its fingers. A long, hairy tail was sticking out from behind Burger Kungan's massive body.
I should be wary where I place my feet.
The small creature thought as it gently inched its way around the tail. Just the thought of pulling at Burger Kungan's tail made the small creature frightened. A lone stalagmite was standing in the cave.
I know you're there. Come out and show yourself.
The small creature commanded the stalagmite, but it didn't seem capable of responding. Feeling the stalagmite's rough surface with its hand, the small creature searched for a beard, yet could not find one. A precious gemstone rested safely inside a cavity in the wall.
Something glowing is swirling around inside. What could it be?
The small creature pondered as it peeked into the gemstone. The gemstone was too indented into the rock for the creature to get a firm grasp around it. Luckily for the creature, the dagger had been bent at an angle to slide perfectly into the cavity behind the gemstone. With some endeavor, the gemstone came loose, at the same time causing the dagger to return to its original shape. A large, glowing eye had revealed itself upon the removal of the gemstone, observing the creature in silence as it moved about the cave.
I'm sorry. I hope it wasn't me who woke you up.
The small creature said, holding its hands in front of its face, struggling to look at the bright eye. The heat stemming from the large eye made it impossible for the creature to touch it. As the creature emerged from the hole, it spotted the slim-nosed troll throwing the pendant on the ground, shattering it.
Filthy craftsmen who can't even separate fool's gold from the real thing. If I find them, I
I shall give them a quick departure from their pathetic existence. Muttering and cursing, he turned back to rummage around in his treasure pile. As the creature moved across the chamber, 1 out of 4 similar altars carved out of the cave floor seemed to respond to its presence, faint whispers breaking through the silence of the cave. On a throne of 8, the golden wheel governs the day. As equals 2 walk beside one another in light, 5 acknowledge their place. Six remain shrouded, inhabiting the moonless night. Lowliest of all remains the earth dweller, ambition stifled by the wheel's light. Feeling the stalagmite's rough surface with its hand, the small creature searched for a beard, yet could not find one. The small creature took the ball of hair sitting at the end of Burger Kungen's tail in one hand and the sharp dagger in the other, as it carefully began to cut a few strands at a time until the tuft of hair came off.
I know you're there. Come out and show yourself.
The small creature commanded the stalagmite, but it didn't seem capable of responding. A lone stalagmite was standing in the cave. Using the old canvas, the creature was able to pick up the hot gemstone. Inside the cave wall, packed between dirt and rock, rested the remains of an ancient creature.
This doesn't look like anything I've met before.
The creature muttered to itself as it tried to imagine what the creature had looked like if it had still been alive. The small creature hesitated, realizing that brushing away the dirt with its hand might break the fragile bones. By carefully dusting around the fossil, the outermost layer of dirt around it came loose and accumulated in the creature's extended hand, revealing a set of bones sticking out from the cave wall. Inside the cave wall, packed between dirt and rock, rested the remains of an ancient creature.
This doesn't look like anything I've...
With the fossil uncovered and intact, creature could easily pluck a couple of particularly pointy bones from it. As the key did not fit the hole, it fell apart as the small creature attempted to turn it. A stone casket, crushed by the weight of the trolls, was barely peeking out beneath the rocks and rubble.
It's very dark in here. I don't think I want to reach further in,
the creature thought to itself. The creature reached inside the casket and pulled out a dusty old tome, bereaved of one of its pages. Pouring the putrid contents of the chalice onto the mushrooms caused them to pulsate, letting off a cloud of spores before returning to their slumber. No, that's not how it happened. The alva had fallen through one of the many holes in the cave floor.
There has to be a way to help her find her way out of there,
the creature thought, following the alva's movements beneath the ground. The small creature reached down into the hole, but could not feel the bottom. No, that's not how it happened.
you all right?
the small creature exclaimed as the Alva emerged from the hole. She responded with a quick nod as she slowly stumbled over to rest on a nearby stone.
Don't you worry. You stay there and regain your strength.
The Alva, tired from wandering about in the tunnels beneath the floor, was taking a rest on one of the stones inside the cave.
I'm sorry I got us into this, but don't worry. We'll make it through,
the creature said with confidence to the Alva, who answered with a faint smile. The creature gave the Alva a gentle, reassuring pat on her head. Out of the darkness, a crackling and glowing stone emerged, lighting up the cave with its overwhelming energy as it levitated calmly above the altar. As the creature got closer, sparks and cracks of lightning began to emanate from the askstone. Noticing this, the small creature backed away in reverence. In the center of the chamber, floating above an altar covered in rune carvings, was an askstone. Formed as lightning strikes the earth, an askstone is said to be infused with the power of its creator, rumored to have been used in ancient times to ward off the sky's thunder, as well as beckoning its rumbling.
This looks powerful and dangerous,
the small creature thought, as it stood in awe of the great energy being discharged from the stone.
It's cursed! It's cursed!
The fat-nosed troll chanted.
The hunger, the itching, only bad luck comes my way. Ever since I got this piece of glass, I can find nothing to eat in this damnable place, and now my whole body burns. No more! Be gone with you, foul thing!
He screamed as he hurled his piece of the glass sphere onto the floor, quickly picked up by the small creature. The slim-nosed troll was keeping watch over his treasures, making it hard for the creature to have a closer look. The creature once more presented an offering before Burgerkungen. The tome immediately caught his eye. I recognize the runes on this book. It will surely unveil the true secrets of this place. Hand it over. The creature followed his command and gave Burgerkungen the old tome. It appears what I seek is indeed down in that hole. Bring it to me. There should be a way. Take this glass shard. It might be a key part in this. Make haste, little creature. My patience is growing thin. The slim-nosed troll was busy stacking his gold coins, taking no notice of the creature. The slim-nosed troll was keeping watch over his treasures, making it hard for the creature to have a closer look.
There is something special about that piece of glass,
the small creature thought to itself. The slim-nosed troll had placed his part of the sphere among his other belongings on the floor. No. Feeling the stalagmite's rough surface with its hand, the small creature searched for a beard, yet could not find one.
I know you're there. Come out and
The heat stemming from the large eye made it impossible for the creature to touch it.
I'm sorry. I hope it wasn't me who woke you up.
The small creature said, holding its hands in front of its face, struggling to look at the bright eye. A large, glowing eye had revealed itself upon the removal of the gemstone, observing the creature in silence as it moved about the cave. No. As soon as the small creature came before him, the fat-nosed troll's fingers had surrounded its body, pinching and squeezing it.
How do you taste, I wonder?
The troll said, drooling as he pressed one of his fingers into the small creature's belly.
Are you filled with delicious fat? Maybe I could use your bones to pick my teeth with.
The troll was not gentle in his examination as he started to pull the creature's snout, trying to figure out the limits of its body.
Please stop. I don't taste good, I can assure you of that.
The creature shouted, causing the troll to release it, dumbfounded by its words.
Well, all right. No need to yell. You seem to be nothing but hair and bones anyway. Not very tasty at all,
he said, dismayed over yet another meal slipping through his fingers. The foul stench coming from the layers of grease and mucus covering his skin made it an easy decision for the creature to not move any closer to the troll. Trolls are hideous beings, frequently described as doers of evil and wicked deeds. Terrified only by the sun's rays and the clap of thunder, they seldom leave the darkness of their caves, but once in a while emerging to roam the night in small packs, traveling between villages, snatching newborns out of their cribs before replacing them with their own offspring. Although socially organized, their minds are often blunt, some telling stories of quick-witted travelers narrowly escaping their grasp. Along the chamber walls were mounds of shining gold, with shapes ranging from tiny coins to elaborate statuettes, all floating together into a big, shining mass.
Why should someone gather this much of it?
The creature thought, pondering what use one would have for the towering piles of gold. The creature wasn't at all interested in trying to reach the gold. As soon as the eye's radiant gaze met the ring, an intense beam of light shot out of the ring's jewel, disappearing into the ceiling. Suddenly, a shriek of agony could be heard from the cavern up above.
My eyes, it burns. How is the wheel of heaven's wrath reaching us here?
The slim-nosed troll shrieked, desperately trying to cover his eyes from the ray of light pointed at his face. With the troll distracted, the small creature was able to sneak closer and nab the glass shard.
Who goes there?
The slim-nosed troll cried out as he tried to make out who was approaching him through his fingers.
If even a single shiny is missing, I will find you and turn your skin inside out, you filthy thieves.
don't know if I've made the right decision, but I feel this is our last chance to get you wings. Let's head up, shall we?
The small creature said to the alva, who with a hearty nod once more crawled up behind its ear.
At last, after all this time, it's within my reach,
Burger Kungan proclaimed, looking at the Askston with hungry eyes.
This is what we have been looking for? A stone? A piece of worthless rock?
The slim-nosed troll spouted in anger, yet his words got drowned out by the fat-nosed troll's deep voice.
It must be a special rock, right? What does it do?
Burger Kungan began to explain in a calm, almost threatening voice.
This, my brother, will keep us safe as the wheel in the heavens passes above our heads. It beckons and bends the mind of the dark clouds and the hammering they bring with them.
He turned his attention to the small creature.
Come now, little creature, hand it over to me,
Burger Kungan commanded the small creature, seemingly hesitant to touch the crackling Askston directly himself. The small creature looked at the alva and then back at Burger Kungan.
No, I will not.
Did you not hear me, little imp? I said, bring it to me, Burger Kungan roared, furious by the creature's refusal.
No, you don't deserve to have it,
the creature yelled without a shred of hesitation.
You dare defy me? I will crush you. I will crush you beneath my feet, and I will take the stone myself. Dirt under my feet is what you are, after all.
Enraged, Burger Kungan began to twist and turn to free himself from the mountain's firm grasp. In his struggle, the cavern began to crumble, light breaking through the cracks forming in the ceiling.
No, not again. The light, stop moving!
The slim-nosed troll exclaimed in panic, yet his words did not reach the Troll King. The creature and alva paused for a moment to watch as the sunlight turned the trolls into stone before making their way out of the chamber. Passing through the crumbling copper gate, the creature glanced over its shoulder, only to see a cold mountain wall, untouched by being and man alike, casting a calming shadow over the clearing. The weary pair, staggering along the forest path, slowly made their way through the thick brush. As it happened, ending upon a path different than the one that led them there. As they felt the rise of the ground, the dark trees grew less imposing, allowing a wonderful view to greet their arrival at the top of the hill.
How beautiful,
The small creature gasped.
I think I'd like to remain here for a while if you wouldn't mind.
The alva marveled at the sky as the creature carefully put her down on a slab beside it.
I'm sorry for not being able to help you. I know I promised.
The creature said with sad eyes kept at the muddy ground beneath its feet.
That place wasn't at all what I'd hoped it to be.
After remaining silent for a while, the creature, nervously brought its eyes from the ground, greeted by the Alva's beaming smile. For although she could not speak nor fly, her glow appeared brighter than before. As they sat there looking out across the woods, the creature felt at ease, and embraced by the sun's rays breaking through the treetops, it slowly faded as night made way for dawn. The Alva remained, humming a sad melody while looking at the stone now sitting beside her. The song filled the clearing, and as she took the last note, a glowing pair of beautiful wings had appeared on her back. Looking at the stone one last time, eyes filled with gratitude, she then rose from the ground, disappearing amongst the trees' canopies. And that, my friend, is where this story ends. Make of it what you will this darkest of nights, be it truth or myth. I have but shared with you what was long ago told to me in the glow of a fire such as this one. I only hope that you'll take care where you trod this night, for, as the story goes, it turns out even a small, in the scope of the world, insignificant creature can be of significance to someone not that significant themselves.